guys, it's Gretchen and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I would piggyback on the last video I did, which is where I talked about how I am having weight loss surgery. Would you get out of the hamster food? You're a cat. Hey, psh, no hamster food. So part of the process of getting weight loss surgery is going through all these requirements before you can be basically approved to have the surgery. There are criteria you have to meet before you can start doing like pre-op appointments, like the blood tests and like physicals and like just making sure that you're healthy enough to get the surgery. And so this past week I completed the 3 things that you need to do in order to proceed with those pre-op appointments. And those 3 things are: 1, a letter of support from your primary care physician; 2, a psych evaluation; and 3, a visit with the dietitian. Last week I got my letter from my primary care physician and I also did my psych evaluation, and then just yesterday I had an appointment with the dietitian, which is fantastic that I was able to get it yesterday because my original appointment wasn't until March 7th and I'd have to wait until then in order to get pre-approved to continue with, the process of getting a surgery date. But luckily I called at a right time and they were like, oh, we have a cancellation on Wednesday. Can you come in? I'm like, yes, I can. I will make it work. I can make this happen. So luckily for me, all 3 things are done. What I have to do now is wait for the scheduler at my surgeon's practice to get in touch with me, and from there we're going to set up what day I'm supposed to go for the all-day class about the surgery, and then by that point I can start looking at surgery dates, which I'm really excited about. I'm a little anxious because it is a pretty big surgery. 80% of my stomach is going to be pulled out through my belly button. That's not just a walk in the park oh, I feel like having that done today. Let's go do that. No, it is a big deal. And so it's normal to be a little anxious about it, but I'm more excited about what's going to follow. I'm very excited to have this tool in my arsenal now to get me to a weight that I feel comfortable with, to get me to a healthier lifestyle, and I'm more excited than anxious. But anyway, back to the 3 things that you have to do in order to progress and all that fun stuff. My hands are all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. So the first thing I ended up doing was getting my primary care physician letter. My primary care physician I've actually only been seeing for a month, so it's not like he knows a great deal about me, but from the few visits I've had with him, based on, wanting this weight loss surgery, he says that I'm a good candidate. He has no problem writing a letter for me. They've already gotten it over at the surgical practice, and so we're good to go. Basically, all that has to happen there is that they do a little blood work and they talk about your history and they just make sure that you are an appropriate candidate for this. Like I mentioned in the last video, a lot of people are still saying, oh, but you're not big enough for that surgery. Okay, you continue to think that. All my doctors that I've met with have all said I'm a great candidate. They also say that in one instance, I'm very lucky in the sense that I am young, and so I should, once the surgery is done, skin should be able to bounce back. I may not even have to have skin surgery. That is far down the road. But yeah, out of the 3 things I needed to get done, the primary care physician letter was probably the easiest. I did think it was a little weird that I actually had to go into the doctor's office and talk with him so that he could write the letter, because I remember when my mom had hers done, she just called there and was like, hey, I need a letter of support, can you do one for me? And that was it. She didn't have to go in and talk to him. I don't know, everyone's different, whatever, it's all done, I don't care, we're good to go. The second thing that I got done was the psych evaluation. Now the point of the psych evaluation, at least what I gathered, was that it's to make sure that you are mentally prepared for what's going to happen. Like I said, it is a pretty major surgery. Risk factors aren't high, but at the same time, they are going in. They are pulling out 80% of your stomach. I mean, that's a huge deal. 80%? It's like a banana left over, if that. So the point of the psych evaluation is to make sure you understand what you're about to take on. You understand everything that you are going to need to do in order to make sure that this surgery is successful, as well as yourself is successful utilizing the tool. One of the biggest questions I was asked during the psych evaluation was, what is your support system like? And like I mentioned in my last video, I have a pretty amazing support system. My family is very supportive. I have some amazing friends who are incredibly supportive of me. And I am very lucky in that sense, because there are a lot of people that go into this surgery and they don't have a support system. Like, I can't even imagine. But yeah, so they just want to make sure that you are prepared mentally for what's going to take place, that you have people there who are going to help you along the way. This is not something, at least the first week or so after the surgery, that you can do on your own. You need someone there for you. I am very lucky in the sense that I have my mom, and she is more than willing to help me during this process. I mean, I helped her when she got it done. She's like, of course I'm going to be there for you when you get yours done. And so it's just to make sure that you are in a place where you can handle this type of surgery. People just think, oh, well, they're just pulling out part of your stomach willy-nilly. That's no big deal. It kind of is, though. It kind of is a big deal. And so to play it off that it's not is disrespectful. And so psych evaluation, it's not like they're trying to keep you from getting the surgery, but they just want to make sure that you understand what you need to do to make sure you're successful. They need to make sure that you have seen your eating habits will need to change. You can no longer go out to restaurants and get this big meal and eat it all. You just can't. You will not be able to do that. That may be what you're used to doing, but your new stomach will not allow you to do that, and you have to realize that. And so the third thing that happened was my dietitian appointment. Now, I just had my dietitian appointment Wednesday, February 15th. Very quick. It was only 30 minutes. They kept saying that it would be like an hour, but mine was only 30 minutes. I don't know if that's because I kind of already knew everything going into it because of what I had seen my mom do. I mean, she got hers going on 2 years ago. And so I kind of know already what is expected. I know what I can and cannot have those first 2 weeks, those first 4 weeks. I already know that because I was there with my mom when she had hers done, and I was there helping her when she, during each separate week. The first 2 weeks you can only have fluids. Luckily my surgical practice has allowed protein shakes now during those first 2 weeks. When my mom came through, that wasn't part of it, but now they're allowing it. So I guess I came at a good time. And so the dietitian appointment was just to make sure that I understood, 2 weeks before surgery, I'm going to have to change my diet to reduce my liver. 2 weeks after surgery, can only have fluids. 4 weeks after surgery, I can do soft pureed foods, I can have scrambled eggs. And I had to laugh when I was looking at the sheet the dietitian was going over. She was like, in the 3rd to 4th week, you can start having scrambled eggs. I'm like, that's fantastic. She's like, you'll have 2 spoonfuls and be full. I'm like, 2 spoonfuls or 2 eggs? No, spoonfuls. Okay, that's great. Oh, you can also have canned tuna. Wonderful, I love tuna. You're gonna have about 2 spoonfuls of that too. And so those are the 3 things that you have to get done in order to progress with doing the pre-op appointments. I'm still waiting on my psych evaluation to be transferred over to the surgical practice. Yesterday when I went to my dietitian appointment, they hadn't gotten it yet. they had gotten word from the doctor that I had been in and that she was evaluating my stuff and blah, 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 and that she was gonna approve me, but she was just still doing the paperwork and all that stuff and hadn't submitted it yet. So that's great that, you know, that I had been approved and yada yada. But I'm like, could you kindly hurry it up so that I can move on and get a date and I could stop saying end of March, beginning of April. It was also brought to my attention yesterday that for my birthday, there is a good chance I will not be able to eat anything. Which is fine because I've never been a fan of cake as it is. So when it comes to birthdays, I prefer not to have a cake. But anyway, I'm not going to be able to eat for my birthday because my birthday's at the beginning of April. So I'm like, protein shake with a candle on it. Yeah. So that's it for, you know, the 3 things that have to be done before you can get weight loss surgery or even like progress to like a date or anything like that. I don't know if it varies from like practice to practice. I don't know if other practices have to do these 3 things. I know the psych evaluation is a big one, and I know the letter of support is, but I don't know if you have to like meet with a dietitian beforehand or if that's like part of something else. But that's what it is for my surgical practice that I am going through. It wasn't a tedious thing. You make your appointments, you go, not a big deal. I'm looking forward to starting the pre-op appointments now where they're, you know, testing my blood and shenanigans like that. So yay for moving forward. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below or send me a message. I'd be more than willing to answer. Like I mentioned in the last video, I don't really know anything after this point. Yeah, I can't tell you, oh, what's your experience like with surgery? Well, I haven't had it yet, so I don't know. I can always talk about experiences based on what I saw my mom go through. I do at least have that from an outsider's perspective. Have that. But any questions about like psych evaluation, the letter, dietitian, all that fun stuff, how I came at this decision, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email, whatever. Always willing to help. And that does it for this video. If you like this video, you know the drill. Please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. And until next time, bye guys.